Let me tell you a story from the land of Skyrim, a tale of dragons and destiny, of heroes and legends, of a vast frozen province in the continent of Tamriel where your journey is about to begin. So rest now, breathe deeply, and drift away as I guide you through an epic adventure across snow-covered mountains and ancient Nordic ruins. The Last Dragonborn. Your story begins with an ending. You're a prisoner, hands bound, sitting in a cart that rattles along a rough mountain road. The wheels creak rhythmically, a sound that has become familiar over however many hours or days you've been traveling. You don't remember how you were captured. That part doesn't seem to matter anymore. Other prisoners sit with you in the cart. There's a horse thief named Lulker, nervous and fidgeting. There's Ralof, a Stormcloak soldier, proud even in captivity. And there's Ulfric Stormcloak himself, the leader of the rebellion, gagged so he cannot use his voice as a weapon. The very Thursday the ancient power of the dragon shouts, sits silent in his throat. The cart pulls into the village of Helgen, a small imperial settlement tucked into the mountains. This is where your story should end, at a chopping block with an executioner's axe. The imperial soldiers are efficient, methodical. They have a list of prisoners, and they intend to work through it quickly. One by one, prisoners are called forward. One by one, they meet their fate. The executioner's block is stained dark. When your name is called, or when the captain simply gestures for you to step forward because you're not on her list, you walk toward that block. You kneel. You place your head down on the wood, still warm from the last prisoner. The executioner raises his axe. And then the world explodes. A roar splits the sky, a sound so deep and primal that it seems to shake the very mountains. The executioner stumbles backward. Soldiers grab their weapons, looking around frantically. And then you see it, a shape against the sun, massive wings blotting out the light. A dragon. A real, living dragon. A creature that hasn't existed in Tamriel for thousands of years. The dragon lands on the tower above you, and when it speaks, the words carry power. Fire erupts from its mouth, not as breath but as reality itself being rewritten. Buildings explode. Soldiers run. The ordered execution descends into chaos. In the confusion, you run. You follow Ralof or you follow an imperial soldier named Advar. Either way, you flee into the buildings of Helgen as the dragon tears the village apart around you. You navigate burning hallways, collapse into underground passages, fight through torture chambers and storage rooms, eventually emerging into the daylight on the other side of Helgen. The village burns behind you. The dragon circles overhead, then flies away toward the mountains. And you're alive, free, with no understanding of what just happened or why. Riverwood and the Warning. You make your way to Riverwood, a small lumber mill village nestled in the pine forests below the mountains. If you followed Ralof, you meet his sister Gerdur, who welcomes you with cautious warmth. If you followed Advar, you meet his uncle Alvar, the local blacksmith. Either way, the message is the same. Someone needs to warn the Jarl of Whiterun about the dragon. Riverwood feels peaceful after the chaos of Helgen. You can hear the lumber mill working, the rhythmic sound of the blade cutting through wood. The river rushes past, clear and cold from the mountains. People go about their daily lives, unaware of how close they came to disaster. You rest here, gather supplies, maybe help with a few small tasks. There's a merchant named Lucan who's worried about his golden claw, stolen by bandits. There's talk of tensions between the Empire and the Stormcloaks, the civil war that's tearing Skyrim apart. But these seem like distant concerns now. The dragon changes everything. Nothing else matters if dragons have truly returned. Whiterun and the Jarl. The walk to Whiterun takes you across the tundra, past farms and scattered ruins, mammoth and giants moving in the distance. The city rises from the plains, built on a rocky hill, its wooden walls and Nordic architecture a testament to the hardy people who make their home here. Inside the great hall of Dragon's Reach, Jarl Balgruuf the Greater listens to your tale. He's a practical man, a good ruler caught in difficult times. The Civil War demands he choose a side, but he's tried to keep Whiterun neutral, tried to protect his people rather than play political games. But a dragon is not politics. A dragon is an existential threat. Balgruuf sends you to his court wizard, Farengar Secret Fire, who's been researching dragons in preparation for exactly this possibility. Farengar is an academic, excited by the prospect of studying something no mage has seen in millennia. He sends you to retrieve a dragon stone, an ancient tablet from a nearby ruin called Bleak Falls Barrow. Bleak Falls Barrow sits high in the mountains above Riverwood. The journey there takes you past wolves and frost trolls, up ancient Nordic steps carved into the mountainside. Inside, the barrow is dark and cold, filled with Draugr, the animated corpses of ancient Nord warriors who guard these tombs for eternity. You navigate traps and puzzles, descend deeper into the barrow, and eventually reach the central chamber. There, on a curved wall covered in strange symbols, you find the dragon stone. But as you approach, something else happens. The symbols on the wall glow. Power flows from them into you. You hear a word, not with your ears but with something deeper. Fuzz. Force. You've learned your first word of power, your first dragon shout. You take the stone and return to Whiterun, fighting your way back through the Draugr, emerging into daylight with ancient knowledge burning in your mind. The dragon rises. You deliver the stone to Farengar, who immediately begins studying it. But before he can tell you what it means, a guard bursts into the room. A dragon has been sighted, attacking the western watchtower outside the city. Jarl Balgruuf calls his soldiers to arms. You join them, running across the tundra toward the watchtower. You can see smoke rising in the distance, hear the roars echoing across the plains. The soldiers are afraid but determined. They've fought many enemies, but never this. The watchtower is in ruins when you arrive, its wooden structure collapsed and burning. And circling above is the dragon, massive and terrible, its scales gleaming in the sunlight. It lands on what remains of the tower and unleashes fire, its voice shaping reality. The battle is chaos. Soldiers fire arrows that seem to do nothing. The dragon's fire washes over shield and stone alike. You fight back with whatever weapons you've gathered, striking at the beast whenever it lands, dodging when it takes flight. Slowly, impossibly, you wear it down. The dragon's movements become sluggish. Its fire comes less frequently. Finally, with a roar that shakes the ground, it crashes to the earth and lies still. The soldiers cheer. They've killed a dragon, something no one in living memory has done. But then something stranger happens. The dragon's body begins to glow. Its flesh burns away, not with fire but with light. Energy flows from the corpse, streaming through the air, and enters you. You feel power flooding your being, ancient knowledge, the very essence of the dragon becoming part of you. The soldiers step back, afraid. And then, without thinking, you speak the word you learned in Bleak Falls Barrow. Fuzz. The force of the shout pushes outward, a visible wave of power. You've absorbed the dragon's soul, and in doing so, you've proven what you are. Dragonborn. The dragon slayer of legend. Born with the soul of a dragon in a mortal body, able to absorb their power and use the Thursdaeum as they do. The soldiers whisper the word. Dragonborn. The ancient text spoke of such a being, one who would rise when dragons returned to threaten the world. And now you stand before them, dragon soul burning inside you, destiny settling on your shoulders like a weight. The summons. Back in Whiterun, Jarl Balgruuf names you Thane, a title of honor and responsibility. You're given a weapon, an axe of ancient design, and the services of a housecarl named Lydia, a warrior sworn to protect you. The Jarl's gratitude is genuine, but there's concern in his eyes too. The Dragonborn is a figure from prophecy, and prophecies are rarely simple. As you leave Dragon's Reach, a commotion outside draws your attention. The guards are agitated, looking toward the mountain that looms over Whiterun. The throat of the world, the tallest peak in Tamriel, where snow covers the summit year-round. A sound rolls down from that mountain, so deep and powerful that it seems to resonate in your bones. It's not a word, exactly, but you understand it anyway. A summons. The Greybeards, the masters of the Thursday who live in seclusion on the throat of the world, are calling you. The people of Whiterun are in awe. The Greybeards haven't summoned anyone in generations. Their voices speaking in unison can shake the foundations of the earth. And they're calling for you. The 7,000 steps. The path to High Hrothgar, the monastery where the Greybeards live, begins in the village of Ivarstead at the base of the throat of the world. The journey up the mountain follows an ancient pilgrimage route marked by stone tablets, each one a meditation on the nature of the voice. You climb through freezing wind and past wolves, up stairs carved by pilgrims long dead. The air grows thinner. Snow begins to fall. The path winds back and forth across the mountainside, rising higher and higher above the forests and plains below. Frost trolls lurk along the path, dangerous and territorial. Ancient Nordic ruins did the slopes, remnants of a time when dragons ruled the skies and the Thursdaeum was a common power. You pass the tablets one by one, reading the teachings of Jürgen Windcaller, the founder of the Greybeards' philosophy. Finally, after hours of climbing, you reach High Hrothgar. The monastery is simple, built of stone that blends with the mountain itself. No smoke rises from its chimneys. No sound escapes its walls. It sits in perfect silence, waiting. You push open the great doors and step inside. 4 figures stand in the main hall, old men in robes, their faces weathered by years of isolation and meditation. These are the Greybeards, Arngeir, who serves as their spokesman, and 3 others who have mastered the voice to such a degree that they cannot speak normally without destroying everything around them. Arngeir greets you formally. They've been expecting you. The Dragonborn's return was foretold, a sign that the dragons have returned, that the end times may be approaching. They will train you in the way of the voice, teach you to use the Thursdaeum properly, with discipline and understanding rather than as a mere weapon. Training in the voice. The Greybeards test you first, to confirm what you are. They teach you the second word of Fuss Roda, the force balance push shout. Ro. Where it took them years to learn this word, you grasp it in moments, your dragon soul making the knowledge instinctive. They have you demonstrate your power, shouting at ethereal targets that appear in the courtyard. They teach you whirlwind sprint, allowing you to move faster than the eye can follow. They instruct you in the philosophy behind the voice, how it should be used for meditation and understanding, not for violence and domination. But you're different from them. They've spent their lives learning to contain and control the voice. You were born with it, born to use it, born to face the dragons. Arngeir senses this difference, this divergence between your path and theirs. He sends you on a trial, to retrieve the horn of Jürgen Windcaller from an ancient Nordic tomb. This is the final test before they'll acknowledge you as truly Dragonborn. The tomb is called Ustengrav, buried deep in the marshes west of Mordhal. Ustengrav is a massive complex, filled with Draugr and traps, puzzles that require the whirlwind sprint shout to bypass. You navigate through flooded chambers and across bridges of ancient stone, descending deeper and deeper into the earth. Finally, you reach the central chamber where the horn should rest. But it's gone. In its place is a note, I need to speak to you. Rent the attic room at the Sleeping Giant in Riverwood. Someone has been watching you. Someone knew you would come here. Someone took the horn before you could. Delphine and the blades. You return to Riverwood and rent the room as instructed. The innkeeper, a woman named Delphine, reveals herself as the one who left the note. She's been watching you you since Hellgen, investigating the dragon attack, trying to understand what's happening. Delphine is one of the last of the Blades, an ancient order of dragon slayers who once served the dragon-born emperors. The Blades were wiped out by the Thalmor, the High Elves who now hold significant power in Tamriel after the Great War decades ago. Delphine has been in hiding, waiting for a sign, waiting for purpose. And then dragons returned. And the Dragonborn appeared. She gives you back the horn, but she has questions. She's been tracking dragon burial mounds across Skyrim, ancient sites where dragons were interred after they fell in the Dragon War thousands of years ago. These mounds are empty now, the dragons resurrected and flown away. Someone or something is bringing them back to life. Delphine believes she's found the pattern. The next resurrection will happen at a mound near the town of Kynesgrove. She wants you to come with her, to see it happen, to understand what you're facing. You travel together to Kynesgrove, arriving just as the earth begins to shake. The burial mound splits open, and from the sky descends a massive black dragon, larger and more terrible than any you've seen. His name is Alduin, and when he speaks, his voice carries the weight of eons. Alduin chants in the dragon language, words of power that pull life back into the bones beneath the earth. The ground erupts. A dragon emerges, flesh reforming on ancient skeleton, eyes lighting with fire. It's a resurrection, life restored by nothing but will and the voice. Alduin sees you, recognizes what you are. He speaks your title with contempt, Dovahkiin. Dragonborn. He's not afraid. He's amused, perhaps curious. Then he flies away, leaving his resurrected ally to kill you. The battle is desperate. This dragon is newly risen but no less dangerous. Fire and fury rain down as you and Delphine fight, striking when you can, dodging when you must. Finally, the dragon falls, and you absorb its soul, the power flowing into you once more. Delphine watches with certainty in her eyes. You're the real thing. The Dragonborn. The only one who can stop whatever Alduin is planning. The Thalmor Embassy. Delphine has a plan. She's learned that the Thalmor, the High Elves who now control much of Tamriel through political manipulation and military might know something about the dragon's return. She wants you to infiltrate the Thalmor Embassy near Solitude to steal any information they might have. It's a dangerous plan. The Thalmor are powerful and paranoid. But Delphine has contacts, people who can get you into a party at the embassy, who can provide distraction while you sneak into the restricted areas. You travel to Solitude, the capital of Skyrim and seat of imperial power in the province. The city sits on a great stone arch over the ocean, its buildings stacked one upon another, its court filled with intrigue and politics. The Thalmor maintain their embassy in the mountains nearby, a compound of elven architecture that feels alien in the Nordic landscape. The party is formal, filled with nobles and diplomats drinking wine and making careful conversation. You mingle, gather information, and wait for your moment. Then you slip away into the restricted sections of the embassy, moving through hallways and locked rooms, avoiding guards and searching for anything useful. In the ambassador's office, you find it, documents detailing Thalmor investigations into the dragon crisis. But the documents reveal something unexpected. The Thalmor don't know what's causing the dragons to return. They're as confused as everyone else. They've been investigating, interrogating sources, trying to understand. One name appears multiple times in the documents, Esbern. One of the last of the Blades, a lore master who knows more about dragons than anyone alive. The Thalmor have been searching for him for years. He's somewhere in Rift 10, hiding in the city's underbelly. You escape the embassy with the information, fighting your way out when stealth fails, making it back to Delphine with the truth. If anyone can help you understand Alduin and how to stop him, it's Esbern. The Rat Way. Rift 10 sits on the southern border of Skyrim, built on and around a system of canals, a city of thieves and corruption where the Blackbriar family holds real power beneath the Jarl's nominal rule. Beneath Rift 10 proper lies the Ratway, a network of tunnels and sewers where the desperate and criminal make their homes. You descend into the Ratway's darkness, navigating through thieves and madmen, through tunnels that reek of decay. Deeper and deeper you go, until you find a hidden door, heavily barred and trapped. Behind it lives Esbern. The old man is paranoid, afraid. He's been hiding for decades, knowing the Thelmer would kill him if they found him. He doesn't want to open his door, doesn't want to risk exposure. But when you mention Delphine's name, when you tell him you're Dragonborn, something changes. He opens the door. And when he sees you, really sees you, hope lights in his ancient eyes. The Dragonborn. The prophecy is true. The dragons have returned, but so has the one destined to stop them. Esbern gathers his research, tomes and scrolls collected over a lifetime of study. He knows about Alduin, the World Eater, the firstborn of the dragon god Akatosh. Alduin was prophesied to destroy the world, to bring about the end of time itself. In the ancient dragon war, the heroes of old couldn't kill him. They could only defeat him using an Elder Scroll, a cosmic artifact of immense power that exists outside normal time. The ancient Nords used the Elder Scroll to cast Alduin forward in time, banishing him but not destroying him. And now time has caught up. Alduin has returned, and he's resurrecting the dragons, building his army to fulfill his destiny as World Eater. But the Elder Scroll might still be the key. If you can learn how the ancient Nords defeated Alduin, you might be able to do it again. And this time, you might be able to kill him permanently. Skyhaven Temple. Esbern knows of an ancient blade stronghold called Skyhaven Temple, hidden in the mountains of the Reach. The temple was built during the Dragon War specifically to fight dragons. If any place holds the knowledge you need, it's there. You travel with Delphine and Esbern across Skyrim's width, through forests and over mountains, until you reach a valley where an ancient carved head juts from the mountainside. Esbern performs a ritual, spilling dragonborn blood on the carved stone. The mechanism activates, stone grinding against stone, revealing a passage into the mountain. Skyhaven Temple is pristine, preserved perfectly for thousands of years. The blades built it to last, to serve as a fortress against the dragons. Inside, statues of ancient heroes line the halls. Armaments rest in cases, waiting to be wielded. And in the central chamber stands a massive relief called Alduin's Wall. The wall depicts the entire history of the Dragon War. Esbern translates the ancient carvings, reading the story of how humanity fought back against dragon tyranny. How the ancient Nords learned the Thursdaeum from Pathurnax, a dragon who had betrayed his own kind. How they used this power to fight Alduin himself. How, when they couldn't kill him, they used an Elder Scroll to banish him through time. The wall's final panel shows the prophecy. The Dragonborn will return when Alduin does, destined to face the World Eater in the final battle. That's you. Your purpose, your destiny, carved in stone thousands of years before you were born. But to defeat Alduin, you need to know what the ancient heroes did. You need to read the Elder Scroll they used. And you need to find Pathurnax, the dragon who taught humans the voice, who might still be alive somewhere in Skyrim. The Elder Scroll. Arngeir and High Hrothgar knows of Pathurnax. In fact, Pathurnax is why the Greybeards exist at all. He lives at the very summit of the throat of the world, has lived there for thousands of years, meditating on the nature of existence and teaching the way of the voice to those few worthy of climbing so high. But the Greybeards are reluctant to let you meet him. They fear what will happen when the Dragonborn and the ancient dragon meet. They fear the confrontation with Alduin that must follow. For all their mastery of the voice, they're afraid of the coming storm. You press them. You must meet Pathurnax. You must learn how to defeat Alduin. Finally, Arngeir relents. He teaches you clear skies, a shout that can calm storms and clear fog. You'll need it to reach the summit. But first, you need the Elder Scroll. As Byrne suggests, you speak with the College of Winterhold, the Academy of Mages in northern Skyrim. If anyone knows where to find an Elder Scroll, it would be them. The college sits on a cliff above the city of Winterhold, a once great city now reduced to a handful of buildings after the Great Collapse destroyed most of it years ago. The locals blame the mages for the disaster, treating them with suspicion and fear. At the college, you speak with Urag Groshub, the librarian. He knows of the Elder Scrolls, knows they exist, but he doesn't have one. However, he points you toward ancient texts that mention a Dwemer device called the Oculary, designed to study the stars. The Dwemer, the extinct race of deep elves, were known to have possessed an Elder Scroll. Following this lead takes you to Alftand, a Dwemer ruin that descends deep beneath the Skyrim ice. You navigate through its mechanical passages, past Dwemer automatons and Fummer, the twisted descendants of snow elves who were enslaved and corrupted by the Dwemer long ago. At the bottom of Alftand, you find Blackreach, a massive cavern that exists beneath Skyrim's mountains. It's a world unto itself, with glowing mushrooms the size of trees, underground lakes, and Dwemer ruins scattered throughout. The scale is breathtaking, impossible. Within Blackreach, you find the Tower of Mzark and the Oculary. The device is complex, a machine of spinning spheres and focused light. With the help of notes left by a Dwemer researcher, you activate it. The device reveals the Elder Scroll, hidden in a receptacle at its heart. You take the Elder Scroll, feeling its weight in your hands. It's warm, humming with power that exists outside normal reality. Looking at it directly makes your eyes hurt, makes time itself feel uncertain. But you have it. The key to understanding how to defeat Alduin. The time wound. You return to High Hrothgar and begin the final climb to the summit of the throat of the world. The path is treacherous, battered by winds that never stop. Snow falls constantly here, accumulating in drifts that make each step uncertain. You use clear skies to calm the storm, to make passage possible. At the summit, on a small plateau surrounded by clouds and wind, you find Parthurnax. He's enormous, larger than any dragon you've faced, his scales gray with age. But he doesn't attack. He greets you calmly, his voice ancient and thoughtful. Parthurnax is unlike any dragon you've met. He speaks of philosophy, of the struggle between dragon nature and disciplined will. Dragons are creatures of domination by their very essence, born to conquer and rule. To be a peaceful dragon requires constant meditation, constant effort to overcome one's nature. He betrayed Alduin during the Dragon War, taught humans to thirst him so they could fight back. He's been meditating on the throat of the world ever since, wrestling with his nature, seeking understanding. And now you've come to him, seeking the same knowledge he gave the ancient heroes. Parthurnax guides you to a strange distortion in the air, a place where time feels broken. This is the time wound, the scar left when the Elder Scroll was used to banish Alduin. If you read the Elder Scroll here, you'll see what happened that day, will witness the events firsthand. You open the Elder Scroll. Light blinds you. Time fractures. And suddenly you're standing in the same place, but thousands of years in the past. The battle reaches around you. Ancient Nord heroes fight Alduin, using the Thursdaeum against him, three warriors whose names echo through history, Gormlaith Goldenhild, Hakon One-Eye, and Felder the Old. They're losing. Alduin is too powerful, his voice too strong. Even working together, they can't kill him. Felder produces the Elder Scroll. His companions are horrified, using it as a last resort, an act of desperation. But they have no choice. Together, they use a special shout, Dragonrend, to force Alduin to land and become vulnerable. Then Felder reads from the Elder Scroll. Reality tears. Time itself becomes a weapon. Alduin is caught in the wound, pulled forward through the centuries, banished but not destroyed. The ancient heroes collapse, exhausted, knowing they've only delayed the inevitable. You return to the present, the knowledge of Dragonrend burning in your mind. You've learned the shout, the words seared into your dragon soul. Jorzafrol. Mortal finite temporary. A shout that forces dragons to experience mortality, that makes them vulnerable. Parthernax congratulates you. You now have what you need to face Alduin. The World Eater will come here, to the throat of the world, seeking revenge against Parthernax for his ancient betrayal. When he does, you'll be ready. The battle at the throat of the world. Alduin comes with fury and fire. He descends from the clouds, black scales gleaming, his size dwarfing every dragon you've faced. His voice shakes the mountain as he confronts Parthernax, as he recognizes you standing between them. The battle begins. Alduin attacks with all his power, fire and frost and pure force. You use Dragonrend, forcing him to land, to become vulnerable. You strike with whatever weapons you've gathered on your journey, your sword or axe or magic cutting into scales that have endured for eons. Parthernax fights beside you, ancient dragon against ancient dragon. The summit becomes a battlefield of fire and ice, of shouts that reshape reality. Stone cracks. Snow vaporizes. The very air burns with power. But Alduin is the firstborn of Akatosh, the World Eater. Even together, you and Parthernax can only wound him. When his strength begins to fail, when you've pushed him to the brink, Alduin flees. He vanishes into a portal, escaping to Sovngarde, the Nordic afterlife. Parthernax explains, Alduin is going to Sovngarde to feed on the souls of the dead, to regain his strength. He's consuming the very souls of heroes, growing more powerful with each one devoured. If he finishes feeding, he'll be unstoppable. You must follow him. You must go to Sovngarde and finish this. But the path to the afterlife isn't simple. The ancient Nords knew a way, a portal maintained by dragons. You'll need to capture a dragon, learn from it how to reach Sovngarde. Capturing a dragon. The Jarl of Whiterun is less than thrilled when you propose capturing a dragon in his palace. Dragon's Reach, the Great Hall, was built during the Dragon War specifically for this purpose, its architecture designed to trap dragons. But it hasn't been used that way in thousands of years. With some persuasion, Balgruuf agrees. If the Civil War wasn't raging, this would be easier, but with Skyrim to fight it, every decision is complicated. Eventually, arrangements are made. A truce is called, representatives from both the Empire and the Stormcloaks gathering in Dragon's Reach to negotiate a temporary peace so you can focus on Alduin. The negotiations are tense. The Empire is represented by General Tullius, a practical soldier who sees the Stormcloaks as traitors. The Stormcloaks are led by Ulfric himself, who sees the Empire as weak, controlled by the Thalmor. Old grievances surface. Accusations fly. But eventually, with your mediation and the dragon threat hanging over everything, they agree to a temporary truce. Now you can act. You climb to the top of Dragon's Reach and use a special shout Parthernax taught you, calling a dragon to you. Odifying answers, a red dragon loyal to Alduin, powerful and proud. He's curious about the Dragonborn, about the one who defeated Alduin in battle. He flies into the trap. The great wooden mechanism activates, catching him, holding him fast. Odifying roars his fury, struggles against the ancient chains. But slowly, his rage subsides. He's impressed. Captured by cunning, held by craft. There's honor in that. You speak with Odifying, learn about Alduin's actions, his feeding on souls and Sovngarde. Odifying has begun to doubt his master. Alduin calls himself the World Eater, but he's been distracted, focused on domination rather than his true purpose. And now Alduin has fled to Sovngarde, abandoning his dragons to hide and feed. Odifying agrees to help you. He'll fly you to Skuldavn, the temple where the portal to Sovngarde is maintained. In exchange, you'll release him, trust him to keep his word. It's a risk, but you have no choice. You mount the dragon. He's released. And together you fly across Skyrim toward the distant mountains where Skuldavn waits. Skuldavn. The Temple of Skuldavn sits high in the eastern mountains, accessible only by flight. It's a massive Nordic structure, crawling with Draugr and dragons loyal to Alduin. Odifying sets you down and departs, wishing you luck. You're on your own now. You fight through Skuldavn's defenders, through courtyards and towers, up ancient steps slick with ice. Draugr Death Lords attack with powerful shouts. Dragons strafe you from above. Every step is a battle, every chamber a test. At Skuldavn's summit, you find the portal. It's a massive construct of dragon architecture, swirling with energy, maintained by a dragon priest named Nagrian. The priest attacks with devastating magic, fire and ice and lightning all at once. His staff channels power directly from the portal. You fight, dodging his spells, striking when you can. Finally, Nagrian falls. You take his staff, use it to activate the portal fully. The swirling energy stabilizes, forming a gateway to Sovngarde. You step through, leaving the mortal world behind. Sovngarde. Sovngarde is beautiful. The sky burns with aurora lights, greens and purples flowing across the heavens. A great hall sits in the distance, the Hall of Valor where Nord heroes feast and fight for eternity. Between you and the hall stretches a valley shrouded in mist. But something's wrong. The mist is unnatural, thick and choking. Souls wander lost within it, unable to find their way to the hall. This is Alduin's doing. He's created this mist to trap souls, to make them easy prey as he feeds. You make your way through the valley, following a path barely visible through the fog. Lost souls call out to you, confused, afraid. The mist itself seems to drain strength and purpose. But you press on, driven by determination, by the knowledge that if you fail here, the world ends. At the bridge leading to the Hall of Valor, you find a guardian. The ancient Nord hero's son, massive and stern, who tests all who would enter the hall. He recognizes you as Dragonborn, acknowledges your right to be here. But you must still prove yourself worthy. You dueled son, weapon against weapon, skill against immortal experience. He's powerful beyond anything you've faced, a hero of legend at the height of his strength. But you've come too far to fail now. You match him blow for blow, prove your worth. Son yields, impressed. He grants you passage across the bridge. You enter the Hall of Valor. The Hall of Valor. Inside the hall, Nord heroes feast and celebrate. These are the greatest warriors of ancient times, those who died in glorious battle and earned their place in Sovngarde. And among them are the three who defeated Alduin with the Elder Scroll, Gormlaith, Hakin, and Felder. They greet you with respect. They've been waiting, knowing that one day the Dragonborn would come to finish what they started. They'll fight beside you against Alduin, but first, you must clear the mist. Use clear skies, the shout that calms storms. Use it to dispel Alduin's shroud. You leave the hall and use the shout. The mist recedes, pushed back by the power of your voice. The valley hears. The aurora becomes bright and clean. And Alduin, enraged, descends to face you. The final battle. This is it. The end of all things or the continuation of the world. Alduin attacks with everything he has, fire and fury and the weight of destiny. But you're not alone. The three ancient heroes fight beside you, using the Thursday as it was meant to be used, in concert, in harmony. You use Dragonrend, forcing Alduin to experience mortality. The ancient heroes attack, their weapons finding gaps in his scales. You strike when you can, dodging his fire, enduring his shouts. The battle rages across Sovngarde's valley, beneath the aurora, witnessed by all the heroes in the Hall of Valor. Alduin weakens. For the first time, real fear enters his voice. He's the World Eater, the firstborn of Akatosh, destined to end the world. But he's also just a dragon, and you're Dragonborn, the Dragon Slayer. With a final combined effort, you bring Alduin down. The World Eater crashes to the earth and lies still. His body begins to disintegrate, not with the glow of a soul being absorbed, but with something else. Flakes of ash rise from his corpse, drifting upward into the sky. His soul doesn't enter you. It goes elsewhere, to Akatosh perhaps, or to whatever place the firstborn of time goes when defeated. The battle is over. Alduin is dead. The prophecy is fulfilled. The world will continue. Return. The ancient heroes congratulate you. You've done what they could not, finished what they started. Sun opens a portal back to the throat of the world, a way home. The heroes of Sovngarde honor you as one of their own, and though you're not dead, you'll always have a place in the Hall of Valor when your time finally comes. You step through the portal and emerge on the summit of the throat of the world. Barthernax is waiting. He feels Alduin's death, senses the change in the world. The dragons are free now, free to choose their own paths without Alduin's domination. Some will be enemies. Some may become allies. Time will tell. Barthernax offers to teach you more of the voice, to help you master the power you've claimed. The Greybeards will welcome you as a student. But there's also Delphine and the Blades, who demand that you kill Barthernax for his crimes during the Dragon War when he served Alduin. The choice is yours. You're Dragonborn. Your destiny was to defeat Alduin, and you've done that. What comes next is up to you. Epilogue, your journey continues. But defeating Alduin is only one story in Skyrim. The land is vast, filled with adventures and mysteries. The civil war still rages between the Empire and the Stormcloaks. You might join one side, might help bring peace to Skyrim. Or you might ignore it entirely, let them fight while you explore. There are guilds to join. The Companions in Whiterun, warriors who carry the blood of werewolves. The College of Winterhold, where mages study magic and delve into dangerous knowledge. The Thieves Guild in Riften, trying to restore their luck and their reputation. The Dark Brotherhood, assassins who serve the Night Mother and the Dread Father Sidis. There are artifacts to find, Daedric princes who offer quests and rewards. Meridia seeks someone to cleanse her temple of undead. Molagbal wants a champion to spread his corruption. Chiagarath, the Mad God, has a whole realm you can visit. Each offers power, each demands a price. There are simple pleasures too. Buying a home in one of Skyrim's cities, furnishing it to your taste. Getting married, settling down. Adopting children who need a family. Running a farm or a business. Collecting books or butterflies or unusual items. You can explore every cave and ruin, can climb every mountain, can sail to the island of Solstheim if you wish, where new adventures await. You can become a vampire lord or remain a werewolf. You can build your own home from scratch, choosing every detail. The world is open. The choices are endless. You've saved Skyrim from Alduin, but your story doesn't end there. It continues as long as you wish, in whatever direction you choose. Rest now. So rest now, traveler. Your journey through Skyrim has been long. You've climbed the highest peaks and delved into the deepest ruins. You've fought dragons and bandits, helped the innocent, and made hard choices. You've seen the aurora over Sovngarde and the depths of Blackreach. You've learned the voice and changed the fate of the world. Sleep now, and dream of snowy mountains and ancient Nordic halls. Dream of dragon shouts echoing across valleys, of adventure waiting around every corner. Dream of a vast land where you can be anyone, do anything, where every path is yours to choose. The tale of the Dragonborn is told, but Skyrim endures, waiting for you to return and write your own stories among its mountains and forests. Rest well, adventurer. Skyrim will be there when you wake. Good night.